Hi everyone, this is Karen Hightower. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little masking and a little coloring with Copic markers using the new Gina Designs card kit, A Big Hello. This is the Happy Herb stamp set from that kit. So let's get started. I have some white cardstock and some black onyx here, just a few pieces. Already took some masking magic and stamped the flower pots. And then I just fussy cut them out. I'd stamped them twice, and it was this one here that doesn't have anything in it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm very lightly going to draw. I'm going to use one of my masks. I'm going to have this flower pot tilted over on its side, and I'm just going to lightly draw this little squiggly line. Okay. And I want that flower pot in the front. So that will be the first one that I stamp. And I'll be using the Amalgam ink for this. Let's see, this is the Obsidian. So I'm going to grab my stamp. I'm going to put it on my comfort block. Ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it. It's kind of laying down like it's been tossed in a pile of dirt, and the dirt spilling out of it. And then I'm going to take my mask, and I'm going to mask it off, and I'm going to stamp. Oh, I also want to, whoops. I also want to kind of cover some of my dirt pile, and I'll show you why. Because this pot's going to look like it has been there a while longer than this one and is kind of sunk down into the soil. So I'm going to stamp that there. And then one more. We're going to cover this one up. And we're going to stamp the third one up here. So anything when you're masking, if you haven't done much masking, anything you want up front and to show the full image of is what you stamp first and you mask off. And then everything else will go behind it. Okay, so now let's grab some Copic markers. I just grabbed a handful. I have YR14, YR27, and YR21. Now, I'm not a Copic color expert, but I do like coloring. So what I'm going to do, there's so many ways to do it, and I know I don't do it the right way, but this is how I do it. So on my pots, I'm going to say that I have a highlight area through here. So I'm just adding a little bit of that highlight. So I know in my head where I want the highlight area, because I have a very hard time leaving those. I have a tendency of wanting to color it all in and not leave the little spot where it's supposed to be the lightest. So I'm going to go with my YR27, and I'm just going to add this darkest color. And I'm going to go around this pot where it would be darker from it laying on top of each other, and around the sides. I'm just doing little flicking motions. Okay, then I'm going to grab the YR14. It's a little lighter, and I'm just going to go in. And then I will grab the lightest one, which is YR21. Then I'll go back with the dark one. And I'll bring that color in just a little more. And these colors, you know, Copic blends so well. So you don't have to be perfect at it. You just get it on there. And I went out of lines. I'll get my corrector and I'll push that color back in. Okay. And I'm going to do, whoops, flying markers. I'm going to do this inside of the pot. I am going to put a herb in there. Okay, so then I'm going to do the one laying down. And I'm not worried about anything out of lines below because there's going to be dirt there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the deal out of that set, and I'm going to grab some Jelly Bean Green. I'm going to ink this up. And then I'm going to use the fresh asparagus to go around the edges, kind of like the rock and roll technique. I'm going to take my mask. This isn't a flower pot mask, but it is just a mask to cover part of this up. Because I don't want the stem to show down on the flower pot. There we go. Then I can take my marker and I can go back and add a little dot there. I also am going to grab, I have a multi-liner. I'm going to close that little spot there on that flower pot. Okay, so now that I have the dill on there, let's get the thyme. This is the thyme herb out of that set, and I'm going to grab the fresh asparagus, and I'm just going to ink up this top part of it because I want a small little herb in that pot. Okay, so I'm going to again mask off the rim and below. There we go. Remove that, and then I'll take my marker, fill it in, and I need a dark green. Make the stem go all the way down. There we go. Okay, so now for the dirt. I have a whole bunch of browns here. Oh, that's black. Okay, so I have an N8. It's a neutral gray. I have E79, E74, E25, and E29. I don't know which ones I'll use for sure. Probably all of them, but we'll see. So let's start with, we'll start with the lighter one. And I'm just going to make my mound of dirt here. Go under the pot. And I don't want it to be straight because, you know, dirt piles are not straight. Okay, so we're going to do that like some of it's falling out of that pot. Now what I want to do too is I have some alcohol blending solution. I picked up this tip from Kathy Rakusin, but just go in here and color this, and you can, I mean, you can just, because we're going to do her ink blending technique, ink blending solution technique. Okay, and then I'm going to take this really dark one, it's E79, and I'm going around here. I'm ready for the spring so I can get my herbs growing. And then I'm going to grab this N8 and I'm going to color that and go under here. Then I'm going to grab, I have a microfiber cloth here. I think a rough wash rag. Let me get a rougher wash rag. This one's from my crafty stash. So what I'm going to do is grab that alcohol blending solution, and I'm going to take this towel and fold it up, and I'm just going to add some of that to the corner. And then I'm just going to do a little patting of the solution on here, and it'll give it texture, which will be really cool. And then I'm going to go back with that darker brown again. You can still see through laying down extra color where that blending solution picked up. Let me grab the greeting. We're going to do What's the Dirt? Perfect for this card. Okay, so let's do the greeting. Let's get this greeting stamped, and we can finish up this little card. Okay, so what's the dirt? And I'm going to take a piece of black, and I'm going to go cut this off and put the black behind it. I'll be right back. So I'm going to trim this off here, and this one off on this side. And then grab the trimmer one more time. And I get asked a lot about doing the insides of a card, and I do try to decorate the inside of my card. Okay, I'll trim this down, and then I'll do the inside. Look, I have the basil one. It's in my mini MISTI still. So what I'll do, and even though it's the inside, I don't want it messed up. So let's see. Do I want the whole pot in there? Because it's going to take up. How about if we do it offset? Like that. Okay, we'll pick up. We're just going to put that there. Now, if you want to take the time to color that, that would be beautiful. You can grab you some greens, and you can just go in here and add a little color. I'm just dabbing it, as you can see. I'm not really coloring. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of color here and there. So, with that being done, there is our What's the Dirt card. I hope you enjoyed this video, and you will give masking a try if you haven't. And if you have masked, well, then you know how much fun it is. I thank you so much for joining me today, and you can find me over on Instagram at Karen Hightower. I'm on Facebook and Pinterest as well. Thank you for joining me, and y'all have a wonderful day. Until next time, bye-bye.